Welcome to Trailblazing Women. I'm Sandra Maas. My guest today is an advocate for abused and abandoned exotic animals. In 2002, Bobbi Brink founded the animal sanctuary Lions, Tigers, and Bears in the San Diego County community of Alpine. Spread on 93 acres next to the Cleveland National Forest, the sanctuary is home to more than 60 rescued animals and 19 species, providing them with a safe haven to live out the rest of their days. In addition to rescuing the big cats, bears, and other animals, the mission of this nonprofit is to educate people about the atrocities of the exotic animal trade and ultimately to end it. It is so great to see you. Describe where you are right now and give us a kind of a scene. What's behind you?
So I'm at Lions, Tigers, and Bears, of course, here in Alpine, California. And this is one of our habitats. We actually call this one the McGrath family tiger trail. So there's two tigers in here, Mocha and Nola. One was a tiger that was caught coming over the San Diego border. He was on the floorboard of a car when the agents found him, and he actually went to the San Diego Zoo first, and then he will spend his life here at Lions, Tigers, and Bears with Nola, who we rescued from New Orleans. So she was a pretty badly physically abused baby. And she went to the zoo in New Orleans because she was almost dead when they picked her up. And they got her where she was well enough to travel. She actually did a 7,000-mile rescue with us and came back here Christmas Eve. And she will spend her life with Mocha.
I cannot believe that your sanctuary is almost 20 years old now. You have been at this for a very long time. Describe to us your journey and how you got started in trying to save all these animals.
Right. Well, I started in 1990 and I had no idea I was going to be working with exotic animals. I was opening a restaurant in Texas and I moved here from San Diego. I'm from San Diego and I discovered the exotic animal trade in Texas. And I would see newspaper ads when I was getting my restaurant equipment that would say lions, tigers, leopards for sale. And I answered the ad. And the first ad, the lady had them crawling all over her mobile home floor. You could buy one, take it home today like a puppy. So I started volunteering for her, and she was a well-known breeder who bred for like even Disney, Siegfried and Roy, the person who started the cub petting at MGM, all kinds of people, but anybody could buy the cubs. And then I had a cattle ranch I actually had a hay farm at the time, and I would go to the cattle auctions and I would see the tigers being sold at the auction. And I saw tigers for sale in the Walmart parking lot, and met a man who was doing bear wrestling where people could pay in the 90s $1,000 to wrestle a bear. And that's how I got involved. And when I came back here in 1998, that's when I decided to try to start Lions, Tigers, and Bears, and got it going on a cow pasture in 2002. And here we are.
And here you are all these years later. You know, I think it's really interesting. I remember you told me once that there are more tigers in United States backyards than there are in the wild. That is just crazy to think about.
Isn't that crazy? And there's no federal regulations really. So there's more tigers in the state of Texas than there are in the wild. And there's more big cats in Florida than any place in the world. And if are not exhibiting to the public, sometimes you don't have to have a permit. Perfectly legal.
Tiger King was such a big sensation, and it was such an eye-opener for many people who weren't aware of the exotic animal trade. What do you think of that series, and has it been helpful to you in your mission?
I met Joe in the early 90s, and I've been fighting exactly what he's done since the early 90s. And it's really sad that the animals ended up being turned over to Jeff Lowe, and he's still trying to start what's called Tiger King Park. So we actually have a petition against him right now, which you can find on our Facebook and our website. And we're getting ready today to get the media release out on the 6 pages of USDA violations that Jeff Lowe now has with the animals from Joe, Tiger King. So although Joe's in jail for 22 years, you see, like, it never seems like these people get in trouble for the animal abuse. It's always something else: child endangerment, drugs, sex trafficking people. Like in his case, murder for hire. It just never ceases to amaze me. They never get in trouble for animal abuse. Mm-hmm. But we're trying, to at least get the animals that are in Jeff Lowe's care, you know, make him make lemonade out of lemons and take care of his animals, because the vet care is just not there for him.
Mm-hmm. Now, you gave us a kind of a synopsis of the two tigers that you were talking about and how they made their way to your rescue. I know you have some other great animals too. You have some of your grizzlies. Cherry Bomb, right, is one of the
Right,
grizzlies that you have.
yeah.
And then I think Meatball is the black bear. Tell us about his story. He came from like Glendale or something, right?
Right. So those are two totally good stories, because one was a captive born animal and one a wild born animal. So Meatball was actually up in Glendale and finding his way to the trash cans. Bears are so smart. You know, we always say a fed bear is a dead bear. So please don't ever feed wild bears, because one time teaches them to take food from humans. So the first time Fish and Game darted him, took him over a couple 100 miles away from the trash cans. He found his way back to the same exact trash cans. So after the third time, he either had to have a sanctuary or be put down. And so the fourth, he got away the third time because they darted him and he ran off. But he came back to the same trash cans because they're smart and they know where to get the people food. So Meatball gets to live out his life here. Where Cherry Bomb was born in what we call the pits, cinder block pits. So they keep them in breeding pairs. And the bears can't see out, but the public can see down into the pits and throw them food. And then when the babies are born, they pull these babies when they're like 8 days old, before their eyes are open from the mama, and they put them up top to do the photo ops, which to me is so cruel. The mama can still hear her baby and smell her baby, but can't see the baby. And the baby bears are always crying. It would be more humane if they would just take them off site, but they don't, because they don't care. So please don't ever get your picture taken with a baby lion or cub in our country right now. There's not one legitimate place that does cub petting or photos where you can hold a tiger.
Mm-hmm. I know you are really big on education, and in good times, people come out to the sanctuary to learn more about what they can do to help stop this, because that really is an important part of your mission, isn't it?
Exactly, because you know what? People don't know. And they go to these places and they see all these signs that say, by having your picture taken, it's conservation. There's no such thing. The AZA is the only organization in our country that holds the species survival plan, the SSP, for breeding. So don't fall into their trap. Go to the accredited sanctuaries.
I know it takes a huge team of people at Lions, Tigers, and Bears to make the magic happen and to help all of these exotic animals. Give us an idea of your team and what they do every day and how they physically feed the animals and what it costs and how you get funded.
Right. So we have an awesome team here. Matter of fact, you can see one of the keepers over here. This is Martine. I'm not sure if you can see him. He's washing out the pool filter.
Yep.
And this is hard work. Every single day, the animals have to be shifted. Their cages have to be clean. They have to be fed. For one tiger, it costs about $10,000 to $15,000 a year just for food, not for basic veterinary care. You know, to build this habitat that you see in the background is about $350,000, and we actually raised that with donations. Our Linking Love habitat we raised by selling a linear foot of fence. So $90 donation, bought a linear foot, and then we built the entire 3-acre Linking Love habitat. So we survived solely on donations and our educational visits and some small family grants, and just a lot of people that love animals like us.
Mhm. You know, a lot of people have dreams and they want to do something big like what you're doing at Lions, Tigers, and Bears. How do you keep going? And like a lot of people don't accomplish their dreams because they just don't have the wherewithal to see it through to the end. There must have been some trying times for you in
Oh, yeah.
accomplishing what you have. And I guess my question to you, Bobbie, is how did you keep on going?
You have to be resilient and fearless. Like, you can't question yourself. You just got to go for it. And you're going to fail because you have to fail to succeed. So once I learned that, and just keep jumping in and just try, because if you don't try, nothing happens.
Mhm.
And if you fail, then you just turn around and do it a different way, or find a way to get the job done. You just got to, this is for me 24/7. It's a lifetime commitment, but there's so many ways. Like, if people could just come and volunteer for one day a week, that's huge,
Mhm.
huge help. There's always a way to.
To help. You've been involved in legislation, obviously, to
Mhm.
stop the exotic animal trade. I know that something is going on right now. Tell us about that and how people can help and get involved.
Right. So for years, we've been working on a federal bill and we failed 4 times. We're trying again and we're getting better and better each time. In the meantime, we work state by state. We've been very successful working state by state to get laws because when I first started lions, tigers, and bears, 26 states perfectly legal to own any animal. And we're down to 7. And we do it with people's help, like your help, writing a letter to your constituent. Don't think it doesn't work. Calling your constituent. They need to take your phone call. They need to know you care. And then we're also working on the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which is a federal bill that would stop the cub petting, which would stop so much animal abuse, and it'll stop the unnecessary breeding. So you can help with that by contacting your constituent, and I can teach you how. And when this virus is over, we'll be back at the Capitol, walking the halls, trying to get the Big Cat Public Safety Act passed.
And I guess you're hoping that people will be coming visiting again in the not so distant future. Do you think that will happen in the fall? You'll be able to have visitors again, perhaps?
I know we'll leave it to us to be building like a nice venue area when this happens, but
Uh,
we are doing small groups and family households right now with the social distancing, and the keeper or trained volunteer takes you around and introduce you to each animal. So we are at least doing that right now, and the behind the scenes. So you can do those if you want to visit. Yeah.
Well, you were such an inspiration, Bobbi Brink, founder of
Thank
Lions,
you.
Tigers, and Bears, and you're such a powerful voice for these exotic animals. I wish you the best of luck. I'm a huge fan of yours and an animal advocate as well, and I will do what I can to help you in your cause.
One animal at a time. Thank you, Sandra.
All right, take care. Thanks for talking with
Okay.
us today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.